Hello, I'm David, and I have spent countless hours in virtual worlds over the course of my lifetime, not just as an escape to reality, but to, in a way, understand it better. Less more so recently, as the responsibilities of adult life often consume most of my time anymore. But through these digital experiences, I've learned strategies for life, how to manage resources, overcome challenges, and compete in the systems that mirror our own real world systems. Fundamental, useful lessons in life can be garnered in any number of ways, and video games are one route in which to do that. But there are, in life, various paths up the mountain to the same destination and realizations. In games, as in life, you are given a set of rules and resources, whether that be HP, MP, or time or ammo. Each quest and battle mirrors the struggles of real life. And I have navigated digital worlds not for just fun, but to master the art of patience, resilience, and strategy. And I have logged many hours in various game worlds since I started playing video games in the 1980s. And this is not just escapism, it is a form of education and repetition and patience where one can practice processes and systems in a virtual setting. I've learned patience from long quests, resilience from repeated boss fights, and the importance of community from multiplayer experiences where teamwork is necessary to the success of uh, one's endeavors in the virtual world. How to garner knowledge and ability, and also how to improvise on the spot. Video games are like stepping into a Star Trek holodeck, a safe environment to test, fail, and try again. They teach economics through managing currencies, psychology through player interactions, and strategy through every battle or puzzle in a game. And unlike life, you can always press reset and try again. Have you ever felt like a game taught you something relevant in the real world? Maybe you learned patience from grinding through quests or teamwork through a multiplayer raid setup. Can you share your story in the comments and talk about it? I would personally like to hear how video games have helped or shaped your life. What is one skill or lesson you've learned from a video game that helped you in the real world? I can give you one example for me. The concept of arbitrage and interacting with it in an accelerated manner through MMORPG economies. Knowing about arbitrage over the course of my life has been financially helpful and positively impactful over the course of my life. And beyond arbitrage, I would share with you another lesson I learned from my favorite video game series, Dragon Quest. And in Dragon Quest 11, and while playing it with my children, a key lesson came to life. And spoiler alert for anyone that may not have played Dragon Quest XI at this point, you may want to skip over the next 2 or 3 sentences. Early in the game of Dragon Quest XI, the hero is pursued by a king who calls the hero the Dark One. As the story unfolds, it soon becomes clear that the king was actually corrupted by evil and by the Dark One. The king frames the hero as the villain to further the Dark One's plans for world domination and evil. This plot twist became a powerful lesson for my children Sometimes evil can disguise itself as good. People in power may appear benevolent, but their true intentions could ultimately be harmful. And I talked with my children about how this happens in the real world as well, where systems or individuals that claim to be acting for the greater good might ultimately be working to undermine it instead. Things are not always as they appear. Those who claim to act in the name of good may, in fact, be working to cause harm. And yes, after almost 45 years of life, I most certainly believe in evil. Though true evil is fairly rare, it can be quite insidious, and it is disproportionately negatively impactful. So, some might call video games and gaming a waste of time. Personally, I think this is short-sighted and reductive. I see video games and gaming in general as a laboratory for life, a place to learn things like courage and strategy and empathy in a controlled, safe manner where the risk is ultimately quite low, but you have a good reward of learning true wisdom and knowledge. And when the game is ultimately over, these lessons we've learned in the virtual worlds can stay with us, helping us to navigate ourselves better in the real world. Video games, like anything, can be good or bad. They're ultimately just tools that can be wielded one way or another, and allowing them to consume one's life is likely to be more negative overall than positive. So I would just end with a brief poem which I wrote about sort of this concept and idea, which I would call Virtual Odyssey. In pixel realms where digital shadows play, a mirrored world made of night and day, through every quest, defeat, and victory, life whispers softly deep within. On digital seas, beneath coated skies, we test, we fail, we rise. With each reset, a truth we find, the strength of heart, the sharp of mind. When screens fade dark and life resumes, these lessons linger and banish the gloom. For in the game we learn to see a wiser, stronger reflection of we.